All right, what's going on, everyone? Well, as you can see here, we have the Marvel's Legends Venom Carnage. I am just as surprised as you guys are that I am reviewing this right now. If you guys follow my Instagram, you know I found this at my local HEB here in Houston. I just doing some grocery shopping. Someone told me to head over to the toy section, and lo and behold, the entire wave was just sitting right there. So your typical symbiote, Venom, whatever white box that the Marvel Legends Venom series comes in. Absolute Carnage box art, a little bit of the bio, the Venom Pool, the rest of the wave. So you have Morbius, Carnage, Phage, Miles Morales, and Ghost Spider. But you know what? It's just your typical Marvel Legends box. So what do you say we go ahead and open them up and get them out? Okay, so here we have the Carnage out of packaging, and my gosh, this figure looks amazing. The paint apps on him, the sculpting, the molding is just, I love this figure already. It's probably one of my favorites out of this line so far, and he's just the first one. So what do you say we talk about his accessories first before we get too deep into the review? So he does come with this little backpack thing or whatever that has his little symbiotes coming out of it, his little oozy tentacles, whatever you want to call it. So it is a backpack piece over the last one. I think they just kind of like, it was a smaller, right here. So this is the from the older one I have, and this is the newer one. I'm not sure which one I like better, because like when you attach this onto him, kind of gives him like a little hunchback look, but overall not too bad. His other accessory he comes with is another head sculpt. I believe this is the Absolute Carnage version. I am not too familiar with the comic storyline right now. I'm really behind on all my comics. So if somebody could tell me what that is about, that'd be great. But yes, he comes with that head sculpt. And this head sculpt this head sculpt right here. Paint apps on this one are gorgeous. And yes, these veins are actually sculpted on. They're not painted on, and that follows through on the head sculpt as well. My paint apps on this one came out flawless, actually, so I'm really lucky on that. And then the other accessory it comes with is a piece of the Build-A-Figure, which is the Venom Pool head. So yeah, I'll get more into that when I finish building him. But yes, so onto the figure itself. If you're wondering if this is just a remolded, whatever, repainted Carnage, just re-released again, it's not. It's actually on a newer body mold, at least from the one I have. I only have one of the Carnage figures. So this one, as I mentioned earlier, the veins or the symbiote pieces, whatever these things are actually sculpted on. They're not painted on, so they have a raised texture to it. And it goes all the way down to the hands, all the way across everything. It's all amazing. The paint apps on mine are pretty much flawless from what it looks like. There's no black bleeding off into the red or red bleeding off into the black. Great figure. The head sculpt on this one, it'll focus. So menacing. Obviously his jaw is a separate piece attached to give it that more in-depth feel to it. Yes. Paint apps on mine seem to be good. Little bit of a red smudge there. A little bit there as well. I'm not sure if that's actually what it's supposed to be. Great figure. Okay, so what do you say we get into articulation? So for his articulation, for his head, he can look up that far, look down that far. No real side, well, a little bit of side to side. Full 360. Butterfly joints at the shoulders, which is new compared to the old one. So they can go back that far, forward that far. 360 at the shoulder, upper bicep swivels, double jointed elbows, wrist rotation, hinges at the wrist, upper ab crunch can go back that far, forward that far, lower waist swivel, full 360, ball jointed hips can go out that far, can go forward that far, can go back pretty far actually. Upper thigh swivel, double jointed knees, boot cuff swivel, and your typical ankle rockers. But yeah, your basic Hasbro articulation. But this figure, oh man, look at all these. Looks freaking fantastic. Okay, so what do you say we just go ahead and compare them to the old one? So the one I have is, I believe, the first release. I don't have the second release. I could be wrong. Could have the second, not the first. It's been a while. But as you can see, he is on the older body mold. His ab crunch right here is actually really loose compared to this one. No butterflies at the shoulders. His veins are painted on instead of sculpted on. Still just as good in the articulation. But yes, let's see, stand them side by side. About the same size. It looks like the hands are the exact same, if you're wondering, as well. So there's no difference there, short of the raised veins on this one. His toes are actually toes on this one instead of like just a boot. Let's see what else. I think that's really it as far as oh, and if you're wondering if for whatever reason, no, this does not peg into the older one, and the newer one does kind of peg into the older one does kind of peg into the newer one. So if you wanted to use his older tentacles, you could, but you can't use the newer tentacles on the old one because the peg hole is actually, I mean, I guess you could kind of force it in, but it just doesn't look right, obviously. So yes. Okay, so what do you say we compare him next to the Retro Spider-Man that just came out? Spider-Man being a tad bit taller. Then we have him next to the black suit Spider-Man. This Spider-Man being about the same size. And we have him next to the Build-A-Figure re-release Venom. And there you go. The new Carnage from the Venom Pool wave. I absolutely love this figure, and just as shocked as you guys that I was able to get him this early. I'm not sure if anybody else has found him. I just know my pre-order wasn't supposed to be here till November. Walking through HEB, lo and behold, there he is. If you've been under a rock and you didn't know this wave was even a thing, I'll leave links in the description box to where you can pre-order yours or order them depending on when you're watching this video. And yeah, I will be reviewing the rest of the wave here in a bit. So until next time, guys, later.